wow, that was actually a lot of fun. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Ashley Talks Movies. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. But to keep things simple, from here on out, I'm just going to refer to this movie as Birds of Prey because that title's way too long. So the basic gist of Birds of Prey is that Harley Quinn has broken up with the Joker. She's devastated by this breakup, but she decides to pick up the pieces and become her own woman. And makes this grand proclamation letting everyone know that she's no longer with the Joker. But because she's no longer the Joker's girl, and she's no longer under the Joker's protection, she becomes very vulnerable to the criminal masterminds in Gotham, particularly Roman Sionis, played by Ewan McGregor. And that character is also known as Black Mask. Going into this movie, I didn't really know what to expect from it. I wasn't really sold on this movie until I watched the very last trailer, and even then I still didn't quite know what I was going to get with this movie. But I have to say, I had a lot of fun and really enjoyed it, and I thought it was probably one of the better films that DC has put out in recent years. One of the things I really liked about Birds of Prey is how the story was told. It is wacky, it is strange, it is weird, it's a lot of fun, it's a romp, it's great. And the way the story is told really makes it fun and energetic and interesting. Basically, Harley Quinn is the narrator for this movie, right? She's the main character, but she also starts everything off. And so you start off with her, telling you about the Joker and their breakup, and you see scenes of her like dealing with things post breakup. She's like sad and depressed, and then you start to get introduced to the other characters that will play a part in the story. You get introduced to Renee Montoya, who's played by Perez. She's a detective. You get introduced to Black Canary, played by Smollett-Ball. You get introduced to Huntress, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and you also get introduced to Cassandra Cain, who's also an important character in the film. She's a pickpocket, and so you're introduced to each of the characters in a very non-linear way. But I liked how they did that because it breaks all these individual character stories up. It makes it more digestible. And also, too, for me at least, you don't really get bored with it because you're jumping back and forth. And so you've got to pay attention to where you are, which character you're with at that particular point. With Birds of Prey, you're introduced to these characters and given enough backstory about them that you are interested in what they're doing, and you also care enough about them to see what happens to them within the film. The acting is really great. As I mentioned before, the cast in this movie is fantastic. Margot Robbie, obviously, as Harley Quinn. She's fantastic as Harley Quinn again here. She was one of the few bright spots I liked in Suicide Squad. So her coming back, playing Harley Quinn, does a fantastic job with it. Two characters in this movie that I really wish we could have spent a little bit more time with were Black Canary and Huntress. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, the way she plays Huntress is fantastic. And same with Journey Smollett-Ball, does a really great job with Black Canary, and just two great characters, and I like what they do with them. Ewan McGregor plays Black Mask, and Ewan McGregor is great too. He's playing him over the top. It works. I didn't think it was going to work. It works. And he's chewing scenery throughout this entire movie. This movie is almost 2 hours long. It felt a little long in parts. I will say the slowest part of this movie, at least for me, was the beginning. And that's a good portion of that. The first part of this movie is literally Harley Quinn talking about her breakup with the Joker and her dealing with her breakup with the Joker. And I honestly, when the movie first started and that was happening, I was worried that was going to be most of the movie, because that would have been terrible. But thankfully, it isn't. And thankfully they moved past that. I mean, she does reference the Joker a lot. In fact, the Joker is referenced a lot in this movie. He's very much in it in the sense that he's mentioned and discussed a lot by Harley Quinn and also other characters. But, you know, Jared Leto's not in this movie. But anyway, the first part of this movie it lags a little bit because they're spending a lot of time with Harley dealing with her breakup with the Joker. But once they get past that, things really pick up. You get introduced to the other characters. As I mentioned, you start to see how they are connected and why they're connected, and the way that they reveal it is really fun. And the plot starts to move along, and it gets really interesting. Really cool fight scenes in this movie. Just some of the best I've seen in a while. Like, the fight scenes were really, really great. The stunt work in this movie is fantastic. And it's brutal too, because this movie's rated R. And so you hear when, you know, knees break and neck snap and blood is like gushing. All of it is made better by the soundtrack. The soundtrack really works in this film. Each song that was selected really works with the scene in which it's used, and it really helps to enhance the scenes. It's a fantastic soundtrack, and so you have this fantastic soundtrack over these scenes, and the stunt work and the fight scenes and everything. It works really well. If you are wondering if there's an end credit scene for Birds of Prey, there isn't. There's no post credit scene or any mid credit scenes. However, there is a post credit gag. So if you really want to stay to the very end, there is something at the end, but it's not a scene. And that's all I'm going to say. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Birds of Prey. Let me know what you think about the movie in the comment section below. While you're here, please like this review and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.